Good morning to you, Kafi.
How are you doing today?
Very well.
Thank you very much.
You want to ask about my weekend?
How was your weekend?
It was okay. Lewis Hamilton proved to be the finest Formula 1 driver of all time. I enjoyed that one. And then the Super Eagles won on Friday in Morocco, in Tangier, 2-0.
We won.
Two penalties. Very boring match.
Oh, dear.
Was it a fluke winning?
I don't want to call it fluke. They were better than the match was boring. With all the strikers we have, we can't score. It has to be penalties. One early penalty and one very late penalty.
Oh, dear.
They'll play again Cape Verde, I think, to try and qualify for the playoffs of the World Cup. We need to. Important countries are already qualifying. Belgium, Serbia, Spain, Denmark had qualified. We need to go to the World Cup in Qatar. I think the focus is on that one. But one of the stories that defined my weekend was a devastating news from Cotevoire yesterday.
Oh, dear.
That the young Nigerian girl Itunu Babalola has died in prison.
Yes.
In Cotevoire. The story of that girl I followed, I think 8 months ago, around March, when the attention first came on that story. She lives in a village, Bodogu, one village in the Cote d'Ivoire, and she wanted to travel to Nigeria. Before she traveled, they robbed her house, and eventually, when she came back to Cote d'Ivoire, she found out that the person that robbed her house was a nephew to the DPO of the local police, and she insisted that she was not going to settle. They gave her she said she lost the value of what she lost in Nigerian terms would be 300,000. They gave her 100,000. She refused and said she would go to court. They just say she's a Nigerian and she will die in prison, and that's how they bundled and put in prison. In March, the attention of the Nigerian Diaspora Commission was alerted, and the NITCOM said, "Okay, well, we'll try and get out of prison. We're working, we're talking," and they abandoned her. They forgot about it. She died in prison yesterday in Cote d'Ivoire. That's the worth of the Nigerian life, and it happens everywhere. It happens in Ghana. It happens in the mushroom countries around the West African region. They take Nigerian lives for granted. The threat was, she's a Nigerian, she will die in prison. That happened. And the Nigerian Diaspora Commission waded in and abandoned it. I mean, the foreign minister of Nigeria knows this is an important matter that is also diplomatic already in nature. And they abandoned the young lady, 23 years old. She died in prison yesterday, unfortunately.
Oh, sad note. We'll start with the Punch this morning. INEC lists court members to conduct direct primaries, and the riders, INEC officials, FG schools, lecturers, agencies, commissions, workers line up. NYC remains largest single pool of personnel available to INEC. Ex-director, stories on page 2 of the Punch newspapers this morning. And let's move away from that.
You can't move away.
Okay, let's stay with that.
Because we're a core member, and you be thinking this is more job for me, right? But I think it's all premature by INEC. We're going to discuss the possibility of rallying NYC members to conduct direct primaries for political parties ahead of general elections. Because President Bola has not assented to the bill yet. He has not. He has not signed the Electoral Act Amendment. When he signs it in the state that the National Assembly has passed it, that will now begin to contemplate this. So this
is too early.
Yeah, too early. Early days for INEC too. And it was the INEC Director of Voter Education, Festus Okoye, who was speaking this interview with the Punch. And he's saying that if that happens, and INEC will now need to conduct and organize primaries for political parties, INEC will now have to do this according to him, about 8,000 wards in this country. How would they get the personnel to do that? So he says, of course, INEC's largest pool of ad hoc staff is NYSC. They'll have to look there again. Otherwise, they take people from federal tertiary institutions, federal universities and federal polytechnics and federal colleges. That's where they usually use the lecturers to conduct elections. But that's a pittance. That's a small drop in the ocean, for them. The biggest pool is NYSC, because at any point in time, you have thousands of NYSC graduates in the country, so they take from there. And if this happens, that INEC will now have to conduct primary political parties, they have to look to the NYSC and mobilize them. In the last election, 2019 elections, INEC said they hired a total of 2.7 million ad hoc staff to conduct the election. A large pool of people, and most of these were NYSC members anyway. So if this bill scales to and the president has sent to it, and INEC will now have to begin to help political parties conduct their primaries, because by month they have to monitor it and issue it as part of their guidelines, give them the period they need and monitor it and report on it. They will require again a large pool of NYSC man to do this. Also, but I hear from very important sources that the governors of Nigerian states, most of them are already lobbying their members in the National Assembly to remove that clause before they send the bill to the president. I don't know if Bajabi Amila Ahmed will agree, but there's a heavy lobby by the governors group to try to remove that direct primary. It's a controversial one, so we'll see how it pans out, and in the end, if it will see the light of day, or even the president was sent to the Electoral Act with that amendment there.
Okay.
Did you enjoy this video? Hit the subscribe button for more, leave a comment and like. Thank you.